the fans you've had your whole life that get to watch you work on these houses step by step. That was my
Yes.
pun. I did
There
it.
you go.
I had to because it's one of my favorite songs, so I had to work that in there. Uh,
Coming out May 17th.
what do you love most about working on these old homes and farmhouses?
Old houses just have so much character. They have so much quirks. I've always lived in old houses. I would never want to live in a brand new house.
Mhm.
Um, it's something that just brings me so much joy and so much passion. I walk into an old house and I just kind of feel it out and let it talk to me uh,
Mhm.
before renovations, and then just doing the renovations, and I think what makes me happiest is the outcome and the homeowner's joy. I think that's really
Mm.
what keeps me going. I mean, there's days where it could just be so stressful and you get shut down because there wasn't the proper permitting, or you need to add this to the house, or you open a wall and it's termites or rot or mold. And those things just they defeat you in that moment, and you get through it. Um, I'm rambling.
No, you're
Um,
great.
I think the joy is being able to give something to homeowners, and
Mm.
just seeing the look on their face when it's completed is really what keeps me going.
I love that. That's beautiful. And you touched on the one thing about the history and the energy, right? Why do you feel it's important to like make sure we restore and keep the what's the word I'm looking for? Like authenticity of these old buildings?
Yeah, I mean, I think so many people, it's so easy just to tear down an old house. I think, it takes a special person, and I think that has been really fun for me, is to meeting like-minded people that own these houses and appreciate them. um you really have to appreciate an old house to buy one and renovate it, because with old houses come old problems, and some of those problems can be very daunting, they can be very expensive. um but I just think in the long run, these houses have been around for 200-300 years. And you look at a new house that's built now, and I think the life expectancy of a new house is probably 50 years before
Mm.
it's just going to start crumbling. It's just,
Wow.
materials now, wood is different. It's all like brand new growth wood. We don't have that old growth wood that's going to stand the test of time. Yeah, I hate new houses. They're horrible.
They're very boxy. That's the one thing, and everything's very cubular and boxy, and
Yeah,
it's
and vinyl sided, and just
yeah.
it's just gross.
It's yeah, I agree with you on that. More character, please.
Yes.
Um, speaking of character, what was your favorite project in this new season?
Every project is amazing. And I love that we get to do 8 episodes, and each one is a little different. Um I think this year we did a few projects that were kind of out of the box. We did a restoration of an innkeeper's cottage on an island with a lighthouse. And, that's something I would probably never take on, but we did it. We also worked on a berry farm with the family. They've had the house for 4 generations now. And this couple, they love farming. I love farming. They love old houses. So that house was probably my favorite to work on. It connected to my heart so much.
That's beautiful. That's and you know, I want to get to the other side of old houses. Have you ever encountered any sort of spooky, ghosty situations?
Yeah, well, I always say when we go into some of these, first period houses that were built in the 1600s, when America became, even before America became America, um, and you go into these houses and homeowners start telling you stories of, I hear footsteps in the attic, or doors are opening and closing on their own. And, while I'm not a real big believer in the paranormal, I think when you hear it from so many people that in that moment you start believing it. And, at the Proctor House, that's a really old house. There's a lot of, horrid history there. And that house freaked me out. I mean, there was times when we'd be working on the house and I'd see all the subcontractors packing up and leave. And I'm looking at my clock like, okay, I need to wrap up as well because I'm not going to be in this house alone. So, it happens if it's real or if it's just in my head. I don't know, but I'm not going to find out.
Yeah, no, and I will say I was watching, speaking of the Proctor House, like I saw y'all smudging the house. My question, did you have any doors or windows open when you did that?
We did.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's
That's smudging, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. No, I never smudged, never did that. It was kind of just a fun thing for us to do. But yeah, we had to read a whole tutorial and make sure we did it right. So
Good.
hopefully there's spirits in there that they are, at ease and they can live harmoniously with Barbara and Chris.
Yeah, bring some peace.
Yes.
Rest, John Proctor. Sorry you were killed. Well, good. I'm glad y'all had windows and doors open because if not, the spirits just bounce around to get even angrier. So
and you know what's so funny is that he's buried right down the street. And he's buried, it's so sad. He's buried between on-ramps of the highway.
What?
And every day going to work, you'd pass by this big tombstone that John Proctor, and you're just like, the poor guy, he's now buried, between on-ramps in New England. It's just, it's not fair. He got the raw end of the deal.
No kidding. I had no idea about that. That's insane. I feel like that. Wow. Okay. Look at me learning something new today. So yeah, just one last thing about the season, more so with the history. Do you try to find out the history of every location if there is some kind of backstory?
Yeah, I mean the history of old houses is really one of the driving factors of why I love this so much. And it's see now I'm tongue twisted because it's so fascinating that with houses in 100 years, I'm in my house right now was built in 1720, and I think of who was here before I was here. Who's going to be here after? I don't know. So I'm only here in this house as a steward for a short period of time. And, I try to put myself in the past and think, why did this house evolve the way it did? And, I think a lot of that is history with who lived here and how they used the house. I mean, it's changed a lot in those hundreds of years. Just as, I mean, my kitchen now is a brand new addition that was built in 2014. So I just think history also tells the story of the evolution of the house and the people that lived here.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I've never thought about it that way before. And now I'm going to think about it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's so great. And I'm so glad you had time to talk to me today about this because
Yeah.
it's super cool. I've only seen the John Proctor house, but I'm definitely excited to see everything else because I'm sure there's even more amazing stuff to come.
Yeah, it's such a great opportunity to, you know, be on HGTV and showcase these houses in New England. And, you know, I think back to why I started in TV when, you know, I put on my Instagram stories of me renovating houses. And, you know, I think a lot of fans, you know, they know this part of me, but they don't see it. You know, so I think it was just an added layer to everything I do in life. Speaking of history, and you know, I love that, you know, we can showcase this. It's a TV show I'm super proud of.
Amazing. And the fans you've had your whole life, they get to watch you work on these houses step by step. That was my
Yes.
pun. I did it. I had to because it's one of my favorite songs. So I had to work that in there.
New
Uh,
music coming out May 17th.
what?
Brand new album, yeah. Yeah, and then
What?
we leave for tour. I think our first tour is, I think our first show is June 14th. So yeah,
Wow.
I'll be gone all summer. I'm gonna miss farming and miss
Mhm.
renovating houses. But yeah, it's gonna be
That's
great.
amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you.
John, what do you prefer?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
I-
Such a pleasure talking to you.